Guys, this is Mr. Joshy J, and this is your driver ratings and team ratings for the Austrian Grand Prix. All drivers and teams covered as I rate them out of 10 for their performances over the weekend. Now, I'm not going to be covering the sprints, I'm only going to be covering qualifying and the main race because to me the sprints are just pointless. So my ratings are a bit different than the FC racers. You'll know why, because I'm only covering normal qualifying and the full race. Right, let's start off with Red Bull, shall we? Max Verstappen, 10. You may as well put that on repeat at the moment, because I'll be saying exactly the same thing for quite a while yet, I think. P1 in qualifying, P1 in the race, just in a Liga 1. What more could be said? Sergio Perez, 7. Now, obviously, he failed to make Q3 4 races in a row. He's the first driver since David Coulthard in Red Bull to not make Q3 for 4 races in a row. That's nowhere near good enough when you're clearly in the fastest car on the grid. But he did recover well, and he ended up finishing P3, I think it was, in the race. Yeah, because obviously Sainz, superb at defending, helped Leclerc get second in the Grand Prix. So, yeah. But then obviously penalties after the race is just completely mess things up, honestly. It's a fucking joke at what the FIA have done. An FIA clown show. Yeah, but good recovery joined by Sergio Perez. Ferrari, Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz, 9. Yes, I give Leclerc and Sainz a 9. I thought they were superb this weekend, both of them. In qualifying and in the race, Ferrari's pace looks really, really good. And Sainz holding off Sergio Perez to help Leclerc get on the podium. Fantastic. I mean, for one of the Ferraris to finish ahead of a Red Bull is amazing. So impressed with my team this weekend. Absolutely fair play. Obviously, Sainz, he was P4, but got relegated to P6 because them stupid penalties applied after the race, which is shocking by the FIA. It really is. I'm so mad at them. Mercedes, my driver, Lewis Hamilton, 4. Yes, I give my driver, Lewis Hamilton, a 4. Not happy with him this weekend at all. I mean, qualifying, P5 in qualifying, and then originally was P7 in the race, that ended up finishing behind George Russell because the 10-second penalty got after the race. My driver had a 5-second time penalty during the race for exceeding track limits, but the way he was complaining on team radio, unacceptable. That was not acceptable by my driver, Lewis Hamilton. So I have to call him out for it. I'm sorry. Sorry here, there's any Lewis Hamilton fans, but yeah, gotta be 4. Shocking. Nowhere near good enough. And Toto Wolff coming on the radio, literally telling him to be quiet, tells you a lot. Because it just wasn't appropriate. Keep going on and on. I mean, yes, I know drivers are exceeding track limits, so let the stewards do their job and focus on your racing. Yeah, that's not good. Shocking by my driver this weekend, honestly. So mad at him. George Russell, 3. Yes, I give George Russell a 3. P8 in qualifying, and in the end, it was P7 in the race. Originally it's P8, but got promoted to P7 because obviously Lewis Hamilton's time penalty. But yeah, it's shocking by George Russell this weekend. I don't know what's happened to George Russell this season. He's definitely not performing the same as last season. Last season, George Russell took my driver, Lewis Hamilton, to school. But this year, he's just not performing the same. I'd love to know what has gone wrong for the male model, honestly. But yeah, not good enough by the male model recently. I do like George, but you got to call him out. He's been nowhere near good enough recently. Lando Norris, 10. Yes, I give Lando Norris a 10. Absolutely superb this weekend, honestly. He was fantastic, Lando Norris. And that upgraded McLaren, it shows the difference between Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri. The upgraded McLaren, obviously, performed well. But Norris, yeah, I mean, P4 in qualifying, and then in the race, I think he finished P5 but got promoted one position because of the time penalty. So, yeah, superb by Norris this weekend. Fantastic. Oscar Piastri, 2. I mean, it's got to be a 2. Not the best of qualifying, and in the race, literally had his race ruined when he made contact with a driver. Yeah, shocking by the Australian this weekend. Alpine, Pierre Gasly, 6. Yes, I give Pierre Gasly a 6. Decent in qualifying the race. Yeah, I believe he scored some points. Or was he one of the drivers who had penalties as well and his positions changed? I have no idea. So much is happening during the race. Yeah, Alpine not the best of pace this weekend. Esteban Ocon 5. I mean, yeah, Ocon was having a good battle with one of the Hasses, but yeah, didn't quite have the pace this weekend. AlphaTauri, Nick De Vries and 1-for-1 Yuki Tsunoda, 0. Absolutely 0 for the both of them. Nick De Vries, shocking, should be nowhere near F1. A 1-for-1. He had a great start in the race, but unfortunately ruined his race by running wide. Aston Martin, Fernando Alonso, Lance Stroll, 6. Yes, I give both of them a 6. Aston Martins just did not quite have the pace this weekend, and then after the race, they threw their toys out the pram because they weren't fast this weekend, so other teams had penalties. Yeah, that's a bit poor by Aston Martin. Poor sportsmanship. And both the drivers very bang average this weekend. Alfa Romeo, Valtteri Bottas, 0. Absolutely 0. I mean, just nowhere in this weekend. Got eliminated in Q1, I believe, and then in the race, yeah, struggled like anything. Nowhere near good enough like Bottas this weekend. Guan Yu Zhou 5. I mean, like I said, this driver is the hardest driver to mark on driver ratings and team ratings. Kevin Magnussen, 0. Absolutely 0. I mean, qualifying, he's usually so good at this track. Qualified P19, and then in the race, forced it literally the Alpine off track or Nick De Vries off track. Yeah, nowhere near good enough by K-Mag this weekend. Usually does really well in this circuit, but shocking this weekend. No excuses. Nico Hulkenberg, 7. Again in qualifying, absolutely took K-Mag to school. And then in the race, unfortunately, had a reliability issue and retired. And he was the only retiree in the race. Because reliability so far has been fantastic, but he was the only victim. Unlucky for Nico Hulkenberg. Williams, Alex Albon, 8. Yes, I give Alex Albon an 8. Very good in qualifying. And then in the race, P11. Just missed out on the points. Very unlucky, that by Alex Albon. Logan Sargent. Now, this is going to be a surprise. 7. Yes, I mean, I know Logan Sargent's got eliminated in Q1, but in the race, P13, that is no doubt his best race since Bahrain at the start of the season. So fair play, credit where it's due. I still think he's out of his depth, but you got to praise him up for that. Well done, Logan. Well done. Right, team ratings. Red Bull, 9. Yes, I mean, just wow. That car is so good, isn't it? P1 and P3 in the race. Super. No, I guess Checo did get moved up to P3 because of Sainz's penalty. But, well, he was on the podium already, Checo. So, yeah, he would have kept his P3, I believe. But I believe it's Norris who got moved up to 4th. But, yeah, these penalties are a joke. But, yeah, P1 and P3 for Red Bull, fantastic. My team Ferrari, 9. Yes, I give my team Ferrari 9. Qualifying, we looked really strong. And in the race, we looked really strong. And to finish ahead of one of the Red Bulls, absolutely fantastic by my team this weekend. Honestly, I couldn't be any more happier. Mercedes, 5. Shocking. Absolutely no pace this weekend whatsoever. McLaren, 7. Lando Norris, superb. Oscar Piastri, shocking. Alpine, 6. Not the best weekends for them this weekend. AlphaTauri, 0. Just, it's got to be 0 for them. They were absolutely nowhere. Aston, 6. Just did not have the pace this weekend. Alpha, 5. By an average. Haas, 6. Nico Hulkenberg, great, but K-Mag is shocking. It's what he's been recently. Williams, 7. Alex Albon, superb. And Logan Sargent's best race since Bahrain. Fastest lap, Max Verstappen, 1 minute, 7.012. Starting the race, Lando Norris. Worst driver of the weekend, Nick de Vries. This guy needs putting out in his misery, seriously. Team in the weekend, my team Ferrari. Really impressed with my team this weekend. And worst team in the weekend, AlphaTauri. So there we have it. That's the driver ratings and team ratings to the Austrian Grand Prix. We move on to Silverstone next. My favourite race circuit on the calendar. Honestly, that is one of my favourites. Just the British atmosphere. I mean, I've never been to Silverstone, but the atmosphere is great. So join me on Thursday for a preview to that. Saturday for the qualifying review, as we will be back into the usual format at Silverstone. Sunday for the race review, and then again on Monday for driver ratings and team ratings to the British Grand Prix. Austria, I mean, it's such a fast and short circuit. I mean, that, like I said, that sprint race was over in a flash. Comment your thoughts down below, I will always reply. And thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.